Hi, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you to this episode of All Things Lean with your host, Madhulika Rajahan. In our last episode, we talked about loss aversion. What's the worst that can happen? In this episode, we will talk about the silent role of fear in decision making. Fear plays such a dominant role in our lives that several businesses and products have succeeded on the back of this single emotion. Here's a look at some of the fears that affect our decision making, how businesses and products exploit these tendencies to their advantage, and how, as a designer, you can apply this knowledge in your work to design better and possibly more ethical products. Picture this. You're walking along a dirt path on the outskirts of a dense forest. You hear the gentle rustling of leaves. From the corner of your eyes, you notice something move, something large and orange. Quick! How will you react? You probably wouldn't face a wild tiger without the safety of a safari van to keep you from getting mauled. For our ancestors, though, this would have been a real threat. Fear is our instinctive response to perceived danger. When faced with life-threatening situations, we must make snap decisions and judgments to save our lives, prepare to flight or flee. Our modern world does not pose the same risks to our lives that our ancestors faced. But we continue to experience fear in varying degrees, in different non-life threatening circumstances. Many of these modern fears are conditioned. That is, we associate certain situations with negative or unpleasant experiences. Fear is our brain's alarm signal, warning us that something bad is about to happen. Our fears, both instinctive and conditioned, have inspired more than just a few businesses over the years. Here's a look at some of the fears that we experience and how businesses take advantage of them and how we can apply an understanding of fear in design. Negativity bias. Thanks to our ever vigilant ancestors, we are primed to focus more on signals of danger as compared to pleasantness. This evolutionary trait to be constantly on the lookout for danger has consequences on our relatively safer modern lifestyle. Imagine that one of your colleagues harshly criticized an aspect of your work. Chances are the criticism will have a deep impact on you. The negative sentiments from their cutting words will likely stay with you much more than the positive aspects of your day, such as the wonderful weather outside or a compliment from the other colleague. This negativity bias is the reason news services skew their reporting towards bad news. Even though our world is a much better place than the one our ancestors lived in, our primal brain is still keen to listen to and remember bad news. Negativity bias associated with human survival instinct directly impacts your work as a user experience designer. Even a single usability flaw in your product will offset all the amazing features you put together in your solution. For example, if your application requires the users to log in before they can access any feature of your product or service and then ask them to prove they're human, they will likely get frustrated and leave. Many websites ask users to prove that they are human. While this can be to prevent robots from pretending to be humans, it comes at the cost of user experience. As robots become more sophisticated, so do the tests of humanity. These tests are often difficult for users to solve, which can frustrate users to the point that they may just leave your website or app. Loss aversion. If we were to toss a coin and say, Heads, you win $10 and tails, you lose $10. Would you play along? Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky conducted experiments similar to this and found that people were interested in participating in this game only if the reward was double the amount the penalty cost. Through these experiments, they defined loss aversion. The psychological pain of loss is far greater than the pleasure of gain. Our fear of loss applies to things we have that we'd not like to use, such as money, vacation pictures, or music concert tickets. It also applies to what we don't have but stand to lose, say, the live sporting event that clashes with a music concert. In the other hand, fear of missing out, popularly known as FOMO. From seasonal discount sales to limited edition merchandise and from the music concerts to sporting events, most marketing campaigns are built around loss aversion and FOMO. For example, Amazon's lightning deals combine discounts with limited time and stocks to invoke our fear of missing out on a sweet deal. Amazon offers lightning deals to encourage users to purchase. All products in such deals show that the items are available at a discounted rate for a limited time and a limited stock option. The countdown shows that this particular deal will be available only for about 4 hours. The progress bar just above the clock indicates to what extent the deal has been claimed. This tells the user that the deal could actually end before the clock hits zero. The information about potential savings and that the deal is already 65% claimed is shown twice on the page to motivate users to claim it before it has gone. Endowment effect. The endowment effect refers to our emotional attachment to the objects that we own. You might experience this effect when you try to clear your closet. Some objects are harder to get rid of than others. We also tend to value these objects higher than what they are worth. That is, if we were to hold a yard sale, we would demand more money for our possessions than others will be willing to pay. Like the creature Gollum in the Lords of the Ring trilogy, we get attached to our possessions and do not like to part with them. Nothing can be worse than waking up to find all our possessions have disappeared. This is exactly what happened in 2009 with customers when Amazon deleted digital copies of books from Kindle devices. In 2018, Apple users found out that some movies that they had purchased had disappeared from their iTunes library. Unlike physical books, cassettes, and CDs, ownership of media on cloud-based services is not absolute. Large companies like Amazon and Apple can get away with it to a certain extent. But for most smaller services, it is best not to antagonize users. To capitalize on our possessive nature, many software and collaborative tools subtly hint at ownership with words like your work or my files. Some subscription as software as service or SaaS service often include file storage and backup as premium services to encourage users to opt for purchase. Cloud storage services such as Dropbox here takes the endowment effect into consideration. With promises to safeguard our digital possessions with built-in tools to recover and restore any file, and automatic backups of photographs and videos. Fear of better options or FOBO. If you've bought a mobile phone, you are likely to come across this fear. Screen sizes, the number of cameras, their resolution, the battery capacity, price, the number of factors that influence our decision to purchase is endless. And it appears that there are infinite devices with identical specifications. Even after we make the purchase, there's a voice at the back of our head that says, are you sure you might made the right decision? The internet opens up a whole world of choices where anyone can offer a value proposition to people across the planet. Choices are desirable. Four options are better than two, and one option isn't an option, incidentally. It's called being backed up into a corner. But weighing 1,000 options can overwhelm us to the point that causes us not to decide at all. Here's a look at the pricing options of two video conferencing platforms, Zoom and GoToMeeting. Zoom shows four plans. On closer examination, however, we find more than 15 options spread across different categories and separate add-ons for each. By contrast, its competitor GoToMeeting has a much simple pricing structure that helps users make a quick decision. Zoom offers four plans: Basic, Pro, Business, and Enterprise. On closer examination, we see that these plans are for Zoom meetings. There's another set of plans for phone, video webinar, and rooms. We also see that there are separate pricing options for education, telehealth, and developers. This large set of options is bound to confuse users. GoToMeeting's pricing page has only three options, which makes it easy for potential users to decide which plan matches their requirements. Fear plays a large part in our decisions. You can use the knowledge of users' fears to create designs that motivate users to adopt or purchase your product. Our instinctive negativity bias makes it important that we find and eliminate usability flaws in our design. Users are more likely to remember a tiny usability flaw than ever the fabulous features you worked hard to design. While loss aversion motivates users to make decisions so that they don't miss out, the fear of better options paralyzes their decision-making capabilities in the face of several good options. The endowment effect makes us value our possessions more than they are objectively worth, paving the way for designers to get users emotionally attached to products. Used appropriately, fear is your friend that helps you create engaging products. But reckless abuse of human behavioral tendencies can also be catastrophic. With this, we come to an end to this episode of All Things Lean. We will continue to talk about the role of fear in our upcoming episode as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment in the comment section on what you'd like to hear more. Until next time, this is your host, Madhulika Rajahan, signing off. Have a wonderful day ahead.